Three three zero. We're alive. We are alive. It is April 9th, day after the eclipse, and here we are. So right off the rip, guys, I'm gonna go over to the comment section. I'm gonna put in there, good morning. All right, give me some good mornings back. All right. Everybody, how is everybody absolutely feeling? I mean, yesterday was like none other. I know that everyone wants to hear me talk instantaneous sports, but guys, that eclipse literally it blew my mind. It really did. There's a video clip of me with my, I'd taken my kids and we went out and did some, family events. There was events everywhere. So we went to one, and in the video, I was gonna share it with you guys, but there was so many people around, and I don't want anybody to say, "Hey, you're recording me and then put me on here." So in the video, though, I sound like a complete idiot. Full disclosure, I'm like, "Oh my god, do you see that?" Like I was the only one that saw the eclipse yesterday. Okay, like I was mesmerized. Like I was announcing to everybody at the park, does everybody see this thing in the sky? Yeah, it would. That was how awesome it was. It took me to another place where I just was in my own moment. And I hope everybody got to experience that and they all pulled something out of it. I think that it allowed everybody just to kind of calm down. There was like this inner peace. It was really cool to hear everybody screaming like it's happening. And then when it did, and then you take your glasses off and you're looking, and you're just like, it was just awesome. I got choked up. I'm sure everybody else did. But we got to talk sports, right? We got to talk some sports. And what was going on during the eclipse? Somebody showed this. All right. Yeah, of course, because, the world was supposed to end, and everybody's like, what in God's green earth is this? Well, guys, this is Wemby, the player for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Wembyana. Okay, there's my attempt. Guys, I know you might not even care, but cool. I thought it was unique. If you guys haven't had a chance to go see them, they took this, and this is like the little subtle drop of his logo. So like we've said, guy's an alien. And that logo looks exactly like an alien. In the NBA news, let me go ahead, check up the banner right now. I'm going to run it across the bottom. We'll get to the men's and women's basketball here very shortly. We're going to move right into the NBA. The NBA was off yesterday because they wanted to sit around and see the elliptical as well. Cavs blow a nice little lead on Sunday. They end up losing 118 to 120 to the Clippers. Paul George chips in 39 and takes care of the Cavs, drop all the way back to 5. So again, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm getting really nervous. It is panic button. Press it now. It is not looking good for the Cavs. They're dropping back to 5. And also Donovan Mitchell is just not able to get healthy. It's not happening right now. Mavs beat the Rockets in overtime, 147 to 136. That eliminates the Rockets. We'll move into talking about that after I get through the scores and give you guys an updated playoff picture, because things are really tightening up and we're starting to get to the end. The Pacers beat the Heat 117 to 115. That's going to keep them ahead of the Miami Heat, the Pacers, and then that's off of the Miles Turner chipped in a double-double, which allowed them to get the W there. The Thunder beat the Hornets 121 to 118. Josh Giddey has his 11th career triple-double. And that also helps the Thunder snap that 3-game losing streak they were on. Definitely needed as they're making their push. The Pelicans beat the Suns 113 to 105. Now they're all both tied for the 6th spot there. The Magics edge out the Bulls 113 to 98. The Magics are trying to shoot for that number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. We'll see if it ends up working out. I don't think so. But Raptors beat the Wizards 130 to 122. This gives the Wizards their worst franchise career season of 64 losses. 64. I'm pretty sure they only play 82. My math's not good, but that is no bueno. That is definitely not what you want to be doing. If you're a Wizards fan, sorry, you might want to find a new squad. The Celtics continuing their winning ways, 124 over the Blazers, 107. The Knicks got some bad news this past week, and let me bring him up here. Here is the man right here. Julius Randle, he is out for the season. This guy was a huge piece to the Knicks, but the Knicks still beat the Bucks because the Bucks have been on a 4-game losing streak, and they pick up that win 122-109. The 76ers 133 over Wemby's, the alien logo that I just showed. Spurs 126. The Kings 107 over the Nets 77. Warriors beat the struggling Jazz 118-110. And the Timberwolves, I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch that game on Sunday. I did watch a little bit of that. They beat the LeBron-less Lakers 127-117. So a lot going on. So let's take a quick little look as we're trying to catch up with, where's it at? We might not have them up there. All right. So there was a couple of updated standings for the East and the West. Not showing. That's all right. No big deal. We can always go over those again on Thursday because they still have this week. But like I had said, a couple of moving parts going on there. The West is way more entertaining to watch right now. Way more interesting. The East is just settling in. The only real big news out of the West was that the Rockets are officially eliminated with that loss that they had against the Mavericks, which was a crazy game in overtime. All right, so NCAA news. The men's last night, right here, guys. I'm going to show you. I had to pull this out. This is my prescription. All right, that's my coffee for the day. Guys, it was a late one. Anybody stay up for that entire game? Not me. Okay, totally fell asleep at halftime. My UCONN, I knew it was going to happen, but I am not the winner of the 330. I believe Joe. Does Joe get all the money? I'm not sure. There was like an entry fee and some people would get into it. We're going to have to figure out another way because I don't think we anticipated us doing this well. And Mike beats me. I was there. We were all kind of like jumbled up, and then Hank, nowhere to be found. Okay. He's at the back of the pack, like we had said a couple of weeks ago. But guys, before we even got to the men's last night, the women's, Saturday was the day. Everybody was sitting around waiting for that. And that game was absolutely crazy. Now, at the very end of that Iowa UConn, everybody was freaking out. Is it a foul? Is it not a foul? Take a watch of the actual play, then we'll slow it down for you with the next clip.
At the end of games throughout the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament.
All right, so that, for some reason, here it is. We're getting
Just to get a look here.
Oh, yeah.
Edwards barely leading. The foul is called.
By a flood. Boy, I don't know about that.
Gabby Marshall, who has made critical.
That's me. And me and a couple of my buddies were watching the game, so you could probably hear the excitement going on in the background when we were questioning whether or not was that actually a screen. Like, was that screen illegal or not? Was her feet set? That's the big thing when you're sitting there watching that whole play break out. You're only seeing from the top half, waist up. It's really where those feet are. Everyone wants to talk about that little elbow that maybe she guys, that happens, okay? But really, when you watch the feet right here, all right, this is the main thing. Not happening, guys. Not happening. Let's rescrub that back a little bit. You guys watching this, zoom in. If you're on your phone or any device, right here, the main part. Boom. It's a foul. It is an instant foul, and it's not what you want to see. It is not how you want the game to end. Everybody wanted to at least see the shot go up. Yeah. Sorry, it's not how you want to see. I think I was watching also at that same time. They had a couple of that. You know how they do the Manning cast. They had a few of the ladies that have played in the WNBA, and I think it was Rebecca Lobo was even, or no, Diana Taurasi was like, that's just a horrible time to call that, but it's a foul. I mean, I don't think she disagreed with it, but you just don't want to see it at that moment. So what's that do? That allows Iowa to move on to the national championship and take on South Carolina. And I think we all kind of had an idea how that was going. I know there's a lot of Caitlin Clark lovers out there, but it was not going to happen. It was not going to happen at all. And who got to raise up that trophy? Yes, here it is. You see it. there is the South Carolina ladies basketball team enjoying all the glory that they had up there in Cleveland. And what an event that was. It was absolutely astounding to see all that up there this weekend. We had, if anybody could go back and look at some of our clips. We Jess was up there. She's up there hanging out with Kylie Kelsey. I mean, that was absolutely awesome. Okay. Like, I was jealous, totally jealous to be able to not be up there, but I was glad that we had somebody from our network and our team up there. And who else better? That's how I met Jess. I met Jess through basketball. And if anybody's ever had an opportunity to see her coach, you're missing out. It's intensity. That video clip that I had showed of Louisville's coach last week, they got nothing on Jess. She brings the heat. Okay. That lady is very passionate about sports. So I'm glad that she got to go up there and be able to represent us. And it was definitely very impressive weekend. So congrats to the Lady Gamecocks as they pick up the national championship for the women's. Over on the men's side last night, we saw UConn and we knew they were the heavy favorite. And there is Coach Hurley at the top, waiting to cut down that last little piece of the net. And there he is, enjoying himself in all of his glory. The most interesting thing that I saw this weekend, and people could not understand what in God's green earth they were doing. Where is it? All right, here it is. Check this weird clip out of the UConn men's practice earlier in the week. So you're asking yourself, why is Matt even putting a clip up of guys practicing dribbling? Does anybody notice what's on their hands? Does anybody notice what's on their hands? Take a look again. Just scrub it back here real quick. Those are baseball gloves. Okay. They're wearing baseball gloves. I saw this and I was like, what does that do? And you know how you when you have a question, you're like, oh, I'll just go Google it. Okay. Because that's the honest answer to everything. I literally like sometimes like to sit there and think like, why, and just before I just resist that urge to go figure out why and go to the comment section or the Google, whatever. I saw that and I was like, that probably helps with ball handling because there's so much the slippery track. I mean, it's leather on leather. So the traction is less. So does it work? I don't know, but guess what? They didn't need those gloves to hoist up that trophy last night as they pick up a win over Purdue. Zach Edey, that kid came out on fire. He did anything and everything he could, but when you play that amount of minutes for that long, it's tiresome. And that's where UConn every game, UConn played a lot of great basketball in the first half against other teams. In the second half, UConn just blows them out. Like there's just the halftime adjustments by Coach Hurley is impressive. And that allows the Huskies to pick up the championship. So back to back, congrats to them as they, move on. And not going to lie, had them on a future bet. I put a future bet in a month and a half ago, and I was excited to see that hit. So even though I lost the NCAA bracket, even though I picked the winner, I was nowhere close because Kentucky. And speaking of Kentucky, does anybody know that John Calipari is bouncing out of there again? Where's he going? He's going down to Arkansas. So he's finalizing a 5-year deal to become the coach down there. So Coach Calipari, hopefully maybe brings the Razorbacks a national championship. It's been a struggle bus over there with the Kentucky Wildcats the last few years, I have to say. That's one of the most prolific college programs, and they just have not been able to do anything. And I don't know why, because I felt like in the early 2000s, they couldn't lose. Everybody was going there, and they just were constantly winning, and that's not the case. So Coach Kyle is moving on down to Arizona from the looks of everything. As we move on, actually, here we go. Here is one of the awesome pictures that we just took this weekend, and this pretty much capitalizes exactly. Awesome. Just one of the coolest poses, the backdrop. I think that would have looked, that's kind of what the eclipse looked like. That was like, I thought a storm was coming through, but that is a super, super awesome picture. Jess, thank you for going up and representing us and sharing all those pictures. And if you haven't seen them, guys, go back, watch those. Okay. There's a couple of really cool clips. She has a lot of the action going right there live at that moment, so it was really neat for her to be up there, but awesome, awesome picture. Moving on with the baseball yesterday afternoon, after we get done with this eclipse, what do we have? The Guardians have their home opener. All right. And we had posted this picture and it was really cool. I thought that was absolutely awesome. Credit to the credit is there. The name was, I forget his name. It's kind of blocked out by the top, but we had posted this on our page. Super, super Zach Measle. Zach, awesome picture, man. So you see that there's the plane flying in. I'm like, that's absolutely awesome. So of course I started searching around, looking to see what else I could find. And guys, here it was in live action at the beginning of the Guards game. Take a listen to this plane just humming over Progressive Field. I almost called it the Jake. What's impressive too, do you hear the lady hitting the vocal pipes in the background? She is at like the top of that national anthem. Like she was carrying that thing out. Seriously, listen to it again. I thought it was the plane. I was like, uh-oh, do we have is one of the wings loose? No, my girl is hitting vocals on this. Listen to that. Like if you have your audio, you might want to turn it down a little because it hits. Ooh, that's that. She got it. And yes, Katie, it was an awesome flyover. I really thought it was awesome. I mean, and what was even better, Guardians pick up the win. Ramirez hits a homer. Tristan McKenzie goes 5 innings. I think it was 3 hits, two strikeouts. I'll be honest. Here's me just telling you about my bets. And I lost. I had Tristan. I thought he would at least get 5 strikeouts, but that was not the case. But I'll trade that loss any day for a Guardians win. And the Guardians win 4-0 over the White Sox, which, they're rough. They are rough. Yankees beat up on the Marlins. And what was cool about the Yankees is I saw this, and this is just me being me because I am all into, like, if you look good, you play good. Like that's a facade, I'm sure. But these were probably some of the coolest cleats that I've seen this year. And I'm sure they've been done again, but this was Soto, and he just was, dude, that's the station, it's got the Yankee backdrop, the bridge is there. You see the subway numbers. Absolutely some of the coolest cleats. I think that they should be doing this all the time, nonstop. Okay. Totally. Dazzle them up, bedazzle them. I mean, you got to give a little flair to the game. And the Yankees, like I said, beat the Marlins. The Pirates beat up on the Tigers 7-4. And then the Reds pick up a win 10-8. But how do they do that? It was a 9-8 game. And then this play happens. Guys, if you have not seen this De La Cruz kid play, you are missing out. He is a special, special, special talent. Take a watch. All right, so no audio on this, which is fine. He smokes this ball out there. Center fielder dives for it. Soon as he misses it, everybody in the stadium knows what's happening. De La Cruz is already rounding third right there. Now, you're going to have an almost play at the plate, but you need a better throw. That's an inside the park home run, ladies and gentlemen. That's impressive. He's got a couple of those already. That kid is one of the special talent. You're going to hear his name an awful lot, and he helps the Reds beat the Brewers 10-8. The Jays beat the Blue Jays beat the Mariners 5-2. The Mets beat the Braves 8-7 on a DJ Stewart homer in the 8th, which helped them move them ahead. Dodgers beat the Twins 4-2. Phillies beat the Cards in 10 innings off of Brahms' double in the 10th. And that was a 5-3 win for the Phillies. Astros beat the Rangers 10-5, which earns a split of the series. Rockies 7-5 over the Diamondbacks. Angels 7-1 over the Rays. Padres beat the Cubs behind Tatis's 2 home runs, 9-8, and the Nats beat the Giants 8-1. The other big news in baseball, if nobody saw it last week, you probably may not have, but the A's, and I can only call them the A's are moving to Sacramento. They're going to head on up there, and they're going to hang out for a few years as their potential stadium gets built. Only thing that I think is very odd and unique is the stadium hasn't been started. So that must be a firm handshake agreement that they're getting into that new stadium. And there's an option that if the stadium's not ready, they could stick around for another year. So not really understanding that move, but yeah, they're going to go up to the AAA ballpark in Sacramento. And, according to their owner, it's one of the most beautiful AAA ballparks there is. I beg to differ. I think ours down here, right in the backdrop behind me, I think that one is one of the nicest stadiums for AAA, right? What else has been going on this week what happened last week? We've already talked about that. This week, the Masters is taking off. And before they even got there, the guy who I think is going to have a good chance to win it. I'm a Justin Thomas fan, but Justin Thomas has told his caddy, Bones. Anybody who knows Bones, he's been with Phil Mickelson. He said, we're parting ways, buddy. I'm going to have to go a different direction as I get ready for the Masters. All right. And here are some of the odds for who they think are your favorites to potentially win that. Scotty Scheffler, no surprise, sitting at the top. And then behind with Rory, John Rahm, Schauffele, Matt Hideki, Brooks Koepka, all these names right there. There's Jordan Spieth. Justin Thomas is not on that list. He's not. And I'm okay with that. I just think that there's something about it. I got a feeling. We'll see how dead wrong I am when we come back here next week at this time. You guys can all tease me about Matt doesn't know anything about golf, which, yeah, if you've ever seen me play, yeah, I don't know anything about golf. Wrestling fans, as that you guys mentioned right there, we will get to that. I just saw that Cody Rhodes, and then we'll get to wrestling here in a second, guys. Definitely was going to talk a little WrestleMania. What else is going on the Masters? I actually was thinking to myself, it is so unique when I was kind of looking up some of the odds and stuff along that lines. They actually send you food. Does anybody know this? So if you get on the Masters website, you could order variations of these packages and they send you the exact food. All right. So I'm looking at this and I'm going down. I see this comment and this guy goes, I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. And so this guy attended the Masters last year and he ate breakfast, lunch, and I'm like, man, that had to be super expensive. Guys, check out the menu. At the very top, the main thing that everybody gets after is the pimento cheese. It's $1.50. All right. Breakfast right there. You can go and get you a blueberry muffin for $1.50. Are you kidding me? A chicken biscuit for $2. These prices are unheard of. I literally had to look up to see if these prices were from like 1980 or something. I feel like I'm looking at the dollar menu. I am ready to stretch $5 20 different ways. This menu is impressive. It's like, how are they able to do that? I want to go to the Masters. I think that would absolutely be one of the coolest things. And before the Masters kicks off tomorrow, what's going to be going on is they're going to have their par 3 challenge. What is that? You're probably asking. All the par 3 challenge is everybody who's attending and playing in the Masters, they're going to have their wife, their kids, their girlfriend, nieces, nephews, grandkids, all caddy and be a part of it. It's a really cool event. The actual funny thing about the Masters is the par 3 challenges, nobody really wants to win it because anybody who's ever won the par 3 challenge has never done well at the actual Masters tournament itself. So what I think of the par 3 challenge, one of the coolest things ever was when Jack Nicklaus had his grandson caddy for him. And what they'll do occasionally is they'll say, hey, take a club, take a swing. Guys, does anybody remember this? This was one of those.
Just swing. He only needs to swing about.
That's his grandson.
That's a good
Arthur.
speed for him. Come on. Go in. Yes.
And you can hear Jack right there telling me talks about there. What he's referring to is that's his grandson who has never caddied for him, was never there. I think at the time the kid was 15 years old. Gets up on that stage in front of all those people and throws a dart on the green and puts a little English on it. LB, RB1. You know what I'm talking about, video gamers. Okay. If you ever played Tiger Woods, man, you could spin that ball. I'd throw it deep and spin it all the way back. Hole in one. There's nothing to it. But this is live action. He gets up there and does it. I think to myself, I would have put that ball in the water in a minute. I would have instantly realized all these people are watching me and about to judge how bad my swing is. Not his grandson. It's in the genetics. He goes through, throws a dart on the green, spins it back, and there you guys have it. Hole in one. It was back in, like I said, 2017, 18, I believe it was. So WrestleMania this weekend was absolute. I tuned in. I watched a little bit here and there. Cody Rhodes, it's funny. I wake up, we wake up on Monday, and my wife's like, why is everybody saying he finished the story? And I'm like, oh, I don't have enough time to explain it. And I don't really truly understand it. But from some of my wrestling friends that I talked to, they were like, oh man, this is one of the best ones they've ever had. Coolest part was the Undertaker showed up. All right. You got to hear as soon as the music started and the lights went out, he jumps in. The Rock comes in to mess with it because Saturday night, obviously, Roman Reigns wins, which means that on Sunday, it could be like basically this tribal match, which basically means anybody and everybody can show up and just beat the hell out of each other. And, there's no disqualifications. Okay. So that's how The Rock showed up. Kelsey showed up, for God's sakes. Jason Kelsey was, that wasn't in that match, but he was in another match. He showed up. That's what WrestleMania is about. They did a great job. It was a great show. Very cold. I felt, and we made a post about it, was cold. I mean, it was like 40 something degrees, and those wrestlers are out going at it. If you guys haven't, go back, watch it. It was a fun weekend. I mean, jam-packed, everything and anything going on. So here's Mike congratulating Joe Harris on winning, and he says, "What my win was." Joe says his win was similar to that golf shot. Looked good from the beginning to the end. Dude, you went. Yeah, I don't think you gave up the lead. You went from start to finish, number one. There was never even a fluctuation in there. So John Cena did show up. You are right, Joe. He did show up. I saw him. Cena looks different. The acting career has taken over, and he is not so much as jacked as he used to be. So he was a little different seeing him going toe to toe with The Rock. But I think that that might be part of the storyline that they're working on. And full disclosure, I did not watch the Monday Night Raw. And usually that's something that you always want to be able to do, is watch Monday Night Raw after it's over. So guys, yeah, the eclipse took everything. It didn't drain me. It put my mind in a different spot. So I know there was a ton going on this past weekend. I tried to hit everything. And as we're getting ready for this week, working on a couple of people to maybe potentially come on for an interview, trying to get something lined up for Thursday. No promises, because I hate promising things and then they don't work out. So back here again, Thursday morning, 9 a.m. All right, 9 a.m. We're going to be back here. Hang on for a second. Let me do this. Uh-oh. No, I don't want to do that. You guys see this? What's going on here, Moo Man? I got a little post. All right. So it's just me. I saw something up there and it popped up on my computer, and now I got it. I felt bad because here's another full disclosure. I didn't even get to watch the women's game on Sunday. Why? This is no lie. I actually went and worked. I was working. I went out, was taking pictures, getting ready to list the house. Guys, working on something, gonna maybe have something Thursday, quick little video, maybe the house. I'm not sure, something new, but guys, active listing coming in here. So if you're thinking buying, selling any of those, call me. I will miss the NCAA championship game to come hang out with you. That doesn't speak dedication. I didn't fall victim to Caitlin Clark. I said, that's awesome. I've seen her play, but you know what's more important? My client. Okay. So guys, give me a call if you're thinking about buying, selling, any of the above. We're happy to help you with your real estate needs. Matt McGall with Keller Williams Shervenick. Happy to assist you at any time. So feel free to give me a call. Information was down there. Guys, back here again Thursday. In the meantime, catch Jess tomorrow going live at 7 a.m. when she'll bring you all of the weather and the news that's around the 330. And I, like I said, will be back here again on Thursday at 9 a.m. to bring you more news and the start of the Masters. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll see how maybe it's going because I'll be teeing off by then. And then we'll get you guys caught back up with the NBA news and some Browns talk. Thought it was kind of interesting last week. We guys saw Stephon Diggs get traded. And believe it or not, that ties back to the Cleveland Browns. And how? I'll let you know about that on Thursday. So tune in Thursday morning, 9 a.m. when I go live. As always, guys, happy to be here. Happy to bring you the sports news. Happy you guys sat and listened to me talk sports. As always, appreciate you guys. Signing off. See you guys back here again on Thursday morning.